I couldn't agree more. But that's not the road to success. Is to just jump to a solution, and our ability to convey what we need from our suppliers is something that I'm sure we're going to talk about in the coming minutes. Personalized medicine is one of these things. I think we saw it during the the pandemic, when there was a lot of emphasis on direct to patient shipments or decentralized solutions. So I think there was kind of this rush to kind of just kind of give me this, give me that, and not really think it through. Did you feel that way too, or these are the type of examples that you're thinking about?
Absolutely, yeah. So it could be something like the DCT experience, where there was a need, and that need had many commonalities from one sponsor to another, but then many differences from one protocol to the next, right? So there's not necessarily a common or standard process, and an unreasonable expectation at the time, if there was going to be a standard process developed on the fly that was universal, that would just fix everything, right? That was not going to happen. And so what ended up, I think we all saw different solutions that, maybe address certain pieces of problems, but could leave really gaping holes around certain real world edge cases, right? Like what happens on the whiteboard is always quite different than what happens in the field. And so I think when you maybe the DCT one is a really good topic, because it is so like operational. It is all about the user experience, what's happening at the site, what's happening with the patient, what's happening, and all of these, predictable but unpredictable scenarios, sort of ended up with many things happening, one of which is almost an industry creating itself around a problem that wasn't fully understood. I think if you maybe on the personalized medicine side, that even in itself, that's probably a very loaded topic, right? There's 100 things that could mean to the different people on the call today. But what it does have, again, it could mean something very specific to a given sponsor, be very specific to a given protocol. But no doubt you have sponsors doing things maybe that are a little bit new or different. You have combining different workflows. You have mixing the GMP, GCP world together to run a trial. So you have completely different systems that need to maybe interact with RTSM. You might be gathering different data points along the way to help make certain decisions. I think you can get into the situation where, sometimes RTSM becomes a little bit of almost a dumping ground for things that don't have other homes. Oh. And we know the regulatory, right, FDA, MHRA, do not like that. And so it becomes this, it just becomes a challenge for, I think, the provider and the sponsor to take a deep breath, kind of agree to slow it down, to get a more full understanding of the problem itself, to acknowledge that we're not going to just throw things in RTSM because we're not sure where else to put them, to accept the idea of a little bit of change where it's needed, but then for everyone to come back to what's core to RTSM. What is RTSM awesome at? What is it appropriate for? And then use it for that.
Well, I hope everybody's listening to Chuck, because what you're talking about right now is so near and dear to my heart, and something I believe you probably all heard me say is, RTSM is not a junk drawer. That's my saying is it's not a junk drawer, or it's not a Swiss Army knife either. That's another analogy I use, a Swiss Army knife. You know, you can't have it do everything. Not well.